Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Morning Woods podcast. As always, if you have not done it, go down to the bottom, hit like, hit subscribe. It helps so much. It helps me get to your page, get on your phone so you can see these videos when you come out. YouTube doesn't want me to be on your phone. I want to be on your phone. So hit that like, hit that subscribe button so I can be on your phone. In studio today, I have a very special guest. This guy is the host of the podcast, the Joe Kelly Experience. He's here in town this weekend doing the Dayton Funny Bone. I know you missed him because this is post-show, but you can see him in Minneapolis very soon, and Joe's going to give you that date here in a second. You guys, welcome Joe Kelly to the podcast, everybody. Here we go.
What's good, brother?
What's up,
How are you, man?
Whoa,
there we go.
We got a lot of fans out there, Joey.
I forgot about the soundboard. I'm probably not going to do a good job of hitting any of those. So you keep, you got long enough arms.
I never do it though, but I always I just remembered. I was like, just for some comic relief, if we need it, you know.
It's good. I like it. It's old time. It's radio style of
100%.
Doing a broadcast, which is a lost art form, and that's
That's
where I started comedy, was working in radio. So I appreciate the soundboard more than most people probably do.
Really,
classic, dude. It's classic.
That's cool. No, you've actually been on my podcast before, so you guys go back and watch that older episode. But that was via Zoom, so this is the first time we're getting to actually meet in person.
Yeah,
and I didn't know that about you. So I've watched your podcast before, but I didn't know you started as a broadcaster. Tell me kind of how that became a thing for you.
Oh man, I was doing a year of community college in Flint, Michigan, and my second semester I took a radio class my second semester, and I wasn't doing anything but playing poker online until like 7 a.m. So I wouldn't go to any of my classes, but the radio class was on a Thursday at like 6:30. So I made that one every week. So I just kind of was like, I think I'll do this because it's the only thing that I've done the whole semester.
Is it because you liked it, so you just kind of leaned into that, or like what was it about the radio?
That's definitely what it was the fact that I liked it. I've always been a fan of radio shows in general. Howard Stern was always like, when Howard Stern was on E, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You remember when he had that E network show?
I remember when his movie came out and I was a kid, I was like, I want to be like that guy. I was like, I don't want to be a rock star. I want to talk about rock stars. I don't know what it was. There was something about that whole movie that really drew me to kind of maybe this too. I think I'm only just now realizing that, though, to be honest with you. That was kind of an impact on my childhood.
Do you think it was because he was like, at the point in time, he was very like a counterculture guy? Do you think that's why? Because
I think
the movie went against the grain of everything.
He had like long hair, and he was like, yes, I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I like the fact that he was different than everyone. And I was too, always. So that made sense to me.
Different.
Even as a child. Yeah.
And that was a time when you could, like, part of radio. We swear on this podcast?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, cool. I just make sure. I don't know. It's because this is the Morning Woods.
This is
you
YouTube.
Know what I mean?
Welcome,
people don't like you cursing before you had their coffee or whatever it is.
11.
So I'm trying to be polite. But part of like radio, especially in the 90s with like Howard Stern, like Opie and Anthony, part of getting bigger, and I guess it does still work today, is like you fuck up and then you get paid more. That was how Howard Stern built a career. Was like he'd go to these small markets, cause just chaos and a mess, and then somebody in a bigger city would hire him. Opie and Anthony did the same thing.
Is Kanye West doing that now?
Dude, I
think Kanye's on to Howard Stern's tricks.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if Kanye is just crazy, or there's part of me that feels like he knows exactly what he's doing.
It seems that every time he has a new drop or a new brand deal or something, he goes out in the media and he makes a spectacle. And eventually people forget about that and they remember who this cool ass dude is.
Yeah.
Like, hey, listen, he has all these albums. Like, he made College Dropout. We're really gonna like tell him he can't have any more money. Like, it's technically one of the greatest albums of all time.
Well, yeah, you're never gonna get his money or anything like that. And
you can stop paying him now, but whatever he has is kind of in his.
He's gonna be fine.
Yeah, he's gonna be good.
He's gonna be fine. And there's always gonna be someone to give him some money.
You know
what I mean?
In my head, when I heard it, this was my sort of. I try to get in Kanye's like billionaire, crazy, artistic, narcissistic kind of mind, and I was like, okay, if I'm him, I see my value, right? I see how much I've grown. I see that these fucking Kardashian princesses love me. Like, I have all the power in the world, right? So if Adidas is going to pay me this much, and I can see that they can make so many $1 billion off of my name and my idea, why not drop myself from that, redo it myself since I have the capital. Now he has a few billion. He has the money that he was talking about not having a few years ago before he couldn't get into fashion. He does have that capital now. He does have people like Richard Branson as his friend and Elon Musk. You know, I mean, he's got more now to actually make these shoes himself. So why not just go and do it himself? That's what I think. I think he flipped the game on its head.
You think he's coming for a major? He's going to try and go for like the major shoe companies.
I think he's going to be
America.
like the next
He's try and
the
be
Nike. He's going to be Adidas. Yeah, 100%. I think he's sick of merging with them, and he was like, "I'm just gonna." Like, what's the best way to drop your contracts? I mean, it's not like he doesn't know what to go out there and say. I think he said some dumb shit about a lot of people, and some of it stuck.
He's always been saying dumb shit, though. That's been his whole thing. I've never been a huge Kanye fan in general. I've enjoyed some of his music. You know what I mean? College Dropout was good. I really liked 808s and Heartbreaks, even though it's not a popular album amongst Kanye fans, apparently. So I've been told.
He's just a great producer.
Yeah, but I've always thought he was kind of an idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, but everybody has spent, how long has it been? 15, 20 years calling him a fucking genius every day of his life. And now he starts saying the stupidest shit. And I also don't like the fact that people turn their back on him so easily. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
I hate that shit.
I think it's just another one of those moments like Hurricane Katrina when he went against the president and he was like, okay, that was the first moment, I think. And I watched the documentary and I kind of looked back and I think that was like when he noticed how much attention he got, everybody was like, oh, he's gone crazy. No, he just saw how much media. He, at that point, was getting mentioned with like big celebrities that were doing multi-million-dollar movies. He's on Tom Cruise level type shit after that because everyone's talking about the story. Oh. And I think in his mind, he was like, okay, if I want to be on Tom Cruise level and I want to be on like Batman level and be talked about in the mainstream and not just in hip hop, I need to do bigger shit that gets more eyes on me. And I think he capitalized on it, man. Like, I don't know if he's crazy. Maybe he is. Maybe we all have mental issues, especially as entertainers. And and as you get more and more decadence and more yes men and money around you, he probably really fucked him up.
That, and then, you know, he's watching somebody else raise his kids now and shit like that, like another man be around his kids. I don't know exactly who is fucking who anymore. I don't care, but it's like that probably that'll fuck with you too at the same time. You're going through a breakup, whatever. But have you seen him talk about his how he likes going into depositions because he can be honest?
No.
He goes into depositions and he likes to fuck with the people asking him questions. So there was one clip where he's talking about there's some prosecutor, some attorney, somebody asking him questions, and he's sitting with his hands his face in his hands, and he just keeps looking down and he's not talking to them at all. And they're like, Mr. West, can you, they're kind of being aggressive, like, get your face out of your hands. He's like, you need to treat me with respect in order for me to do that. And they're like, fine, Mr. West, will you please take your hands away from your face? And he goes, no. So he's just fucking with people. So that clip alone tells me that he probably knows what he's doing most of the time.
He's a man-child.
Yeah. And I still don't know what he said that is wrong necessarily. You know?
We don't have to, yeah. Not that it was wrong.
Morally, maybe.
I think what it is he said what he said was too true, maybe.
I think so. You know, come on.
Well, people don't want people looking into that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's just...
You're going to get some Scooby-Doo characters out here looking into the wrong business.
But I feel
meddling.
Like Jewish people running the media is like
it's an ongoing joke in comedy. It's like a
panel joke from Johnny Carson. You know what I mean?
Kanye's not a comedian, though.
Still, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean, though. And I don't know. Yeah, you're right, dude. I mean...
It's like it's a stereotype that I think I don't know why people...
Jewish people have always been so friendly about it, too, it seemed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we do own everything. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, it's silly. You know? It's kind of silly. Yeah, they kind of play into it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about converting recently. I don't know, maybe
to Judaism.
Maybe I can own the studio someday.
Would you go Hasidic and get the full brim hat and everything?
No, but did you see the new Ari Shaffir special?
I watched it today.
He said that Miss Pat called them curly fries.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! I don't mean to ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but I watched like the first half hour. Yeah, I can't. I keep trying to finish it and stuff will happen, but. It's very good. Have you seen the new Gillian Keefe special?
I haven't watched that.
I finally watched the full thing last night, and it was there was one sketch that was kind of like weird, and it was like, I don't know what they were going for here, but majority of it, I was very pleased with everything. I mean, it was shot so fucking well. It was like watching a Netflix movie or something, but it was like the best sketch comedy I've ever seen because it was so over the top. Yeah, and I don't know what kind of comedy you're into, but I like stuff when people like really push the envelope and go too far.
Dude, I've been a big fan of pretty much everything that Shane Gillis has been putting out.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's funny.
I think you'll really like it then.
Yeah, I've seen they put out one on YouTube for free, and I watched that one.
The Guy Fieri one.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the better ones even, and they kind of put that in the middle of the special because it's kind of like the climax. But yeah, he's like, Haruto, this chicken is spicy. It's getting in the wounds.
Dude, I wish I could quote shit. I watch shit and then I forget. I just know I enjoyed it when I watched it, and then I don't remember anything else about it. I remember sitting there and watching it, going, "This is fun."
Yeah, Gillis is great.
I forget. But think yeah, Shane's the man.
Getting canceled from SNL was the greatest thing that's ever happened to that guy. And, and now he's making the coolest sketches that I've ever seen on the internet. So.
He was like the one where the Howard Stern thing, where I was trying to make the example of like, well, that used to happen, but now it doesn't. But then you look at Shane Gillis, and that's exactly what happened to Shane.
Even Rogan, in a weird way, you can kind of like put there with the Howard Stern like of our day, because before that whole Pandy and the COVID thing and all that, people like protesting against him and all that, right? That was similar to what was going on with Stern, right? He was getting canceled from the network, and Rogan kind of left YouTube in opposition to this whole how do you say like censorship thing, right?
Was that part of it? Him leaving YouTube was part 100%. Of that? Really?
That's what I hear.
Oh,
I don't know.
I never heard that before.
I don't know. But I know they still put clips out on YouTube.
Yeah.
But his show's not on there anymore.
I know. Well, he's signed a deal with Spotify or
it's
whatever.
Exclusive to one place. And I think he wanted to find one place that wasn't willing to censor him.
Ah.
So that's a big part. If you listen to him, I think that he kind of like never really tells that fully, but kind of dispels that.
Yeah. YouTube has gone a slippery slope too, of just like, I've just taken away everything that's fun. You know what I mean? The stuff that's kind of out there and shit. Like that's where... Dude,
I've learned about new places recently, though. Have you heard of Rumble?
Rumble, yeah, for sure.
I think I'm going to get on there because I watch a lot of Russell Brand. You watch Russell Brand?
Yeah.
I love watching his updates.
He hasn't been popping up on YouTube much lately. I don't know if
he's on Rumble.
Okay.
Well, I've heard that they may be giving him a big deal, kind of like one of those Joe Rogan things where he just goes over there because he has over 6 million subs on YouTube.
Okay.
But he's only putting out like a lot of short form content and saying, "Hey, come over to my Rumble and we'll really talk about it." And I'm like, oh shit, what's going on Rumble? I don't know if is it that an outside of the U.S. platform or?
No, I think it's just can
you find out, Mark?
Conservative, more of a conservative leaning YouTube.
Okay.
It's pretty. I don't know business wise. I don't know if it's based out of the U.S. But
sometimes
I have some stuff on Rumble. I heard about it this past summer. So then it was like How
are your videos doing on there?
I haven't fucking put anything on there in forever. I just let it fall by the wayside for some reason. But it was like. Because when I was doing it, it was like, well, if I'm just going to just copy and paste what you're putting on YouTube and just put it on Rumble too. But then for some reason.
Is there an audience on there? Because I know YouTube does push my stuff.
I think there is for some people, but I wasn't. It was like the shit on YouTube was doing. I was getting more views on YouTube, especially putting out that album or that special or whatever you want to call it on there.
So that was driving people to your podcast?
That was going, yeah. So then it was like, and then Rumble was like, I wasn't getting anything over there with the clips, with anything that I was posting that I was gaining traction with on YouTube before I kind of started to get some followers.
Yeah.
So then I was like, and I think maybe that's why I was like, I'm just going to stick over here. Because I know, Andrew Tate, I don't know if you know him at all.
I've heard of him, yeah.
Deplatformed or whatever. He's over on Rumble.
So he still does stuff. Then,
yeah, he's just on Rumble now because he's banned from everything.
I was scared to watch his videos because I heard about him right when he got banned, and I was like, fuck, if I start watching these on my feed, you know what I mean? It's like, am I going to get flagged? Is YouTube not going to push me? Like even when the thing happened with Alex Jones, I was like, fuck, can I watch his videos anymore? Like, should I have this on my phone, bro?
Good luck finding him.
Well,
that's why you got to go to his website. He's on Rumble too.
Okay.
I think Ben Shapiro is on Rumble
because he has also been taken away.
Or there's like more freedom. And again, I think it's just the fact that people that you can't find their content anywhere else are on Rumble. So then other people are like, because Ben Shapiro, I'm pretty sure, is still fine on YouTube. He's not, you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
So he's like,
I was gonna say, he
if
doesn't
people are
do
going for
controversial
Alex
stuff.
Jones videos and shit like that, there's still that audience that maybe I'll have him over on Rumble. I think the Hodge twins are over on Rumble too.
I used to
Those
watch their
couple of
stuff all the
fellas.
time. They're pretty funny guys.
Yeah.
Do they do stand up, or they just like do comedy YouTube?
I've
videos?
never seen their show, but maybe they
I
do
thought I've seen
something.
them on a Funny Bone flyer one time or something.
Dude, I think they're doing an early Sunday show. Maybe this weekend or next weekend. They popped up whenever I was trying to figure out where the fuck I'm going with Weber. It was they popped up on a calendar for an early Sunday show.
At a Bone or
I
an
think it
improv or
might
something.
have been a Bone. Yeah,
yeah. I thought I saw the same
that
thing.
would
when I was,
make sense that they're working Funny Bones.
Yeah. Dude, it seems like that's where everybody goes. Like, if you once you kind of like either the Funny Bone is kind of like a weird medium, like for comics, right? It's like either like you get to a place that's big when you come from like nothing in the bottom, you get to the place where you're like working them and you're good. But when you already have stardom and fame, you can kind of just come in the door and work those clubs. The same as guys that it took us like 8 or 10 years to get those rooms. And like, I'm not knocking those guys or anything. I'm just saying like that is a medium that works in a lot of different ways, I think, because it is just a place where people can gather and do different types of shows. But I don't know. I guess it was built for comedy, but it is different now, right? You have these different kind of stars.
Yeah, well,
platforms coming.
It's at the end of the day, it's a comedy club, but their goal is it's an event space. It's a venue, is what it is. So it's like maybe they're not doing music and they're not going to do, you know, whatever else that people are doing. They do a fucking Dungeons and Dragons fucking show at the Zanies in Nashville. They
at
do
our
like
local club
once a month.
Here in Wiley's at our local club. I don't know if they still do it, but for a while they were doing like an all men's review. Like once or twice a quarter, like there would be like a Magic Mike deal. At the
That's what. Okay,
at the
I was
comedy
going to
club.
say like burlesque, dude.
Yeah. No, not burlesque.
Well, like men burlesque.
Well, yeah, like men burlesque, but like hardcore,
Jesus
like not over the
Christ.
top, like the shit you see on Pornhub or anything, but like a pretty hardcore, dancing and like.
At the Funny Bone here?
Not the Bone, but the one that Chappelle just bought downtown. It's the oldest club in the Midwest. It's called Wiley's. They have a great
Okay, I know.
they have a
I've
great
heard of
Sunday
Wiley's.
show there too. If you're not, I don't know, you probably hop on it if you talk to Mike. I think he's hosting it actually. My camera guy
Tomorrow,
if you're still in town,
they'll be in Fort Wayne tomorrow.
That'd be in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
It's a good Sunday show if you're ever coming through town. Though.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a mic, but I mean it's like 10 guys do like 5 or 6 minutes.
Is it
of new
every
stuff.
Sunday?
Every other Sunday, I think.
Damn,
I'm doing it
okay.
on the 20th. I'll be
Okay.
on the 20th.
I'll holler at you because I'll be coming back up this way in not necessarily to Dayton, but I'm going to be getting back up to Michigan in December. So I'll hit you up about that.
Yeah.
And maybe figure something out where I can
That'd be cool.
make a stop. I'm trying to
Maybe come
figure
back
out
do
something.
the show again or something.
Yeah,
promote
absolutely.
some dates or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, for
that'd be
sure,
awesome,
dude.
bro. I would love that. Hell yeah, man. But yeah, anyway, I found out about it because you know how you just comics and comics work at clubs too. Like they're usually the door guys or the cooks and shit, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
So I was hanging out with the homie one time, and I was going down to the Oregon before a mic, and I was just stopping in Wiley's to say what's up because I knew they were having a show, but it was an off night, so I didn't know what was there, and I don't even think it was on the marquee. And I just kind of went in, and they were like, "Whoa, don't go in the showroom." And I was like, "What's up?" And he was like, "It's just kind of there's like this all male review thing," and he kind of explained what was going on. I was like, "Word up, I'm not staying." And then the manager came out and she's like, "You're not here to stay for the show or anything, right?" She's like, "No comics tonight." And I was like, "Yeah, that's all good."
They wouldn't even let you in?
Well, I don't think
That's
it was
terrible.
It wasn't like that. Would I want to go and hang? Though?
Well, yeah, I
it was
mean-
like a bunch of fucking 50-year-old ladies.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
all. It was 150
I would
old
love
ladies.
to be hanging out. Fucking picking up some scraps after that show, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
That was the homie Nick
Get them
Taylor
old
before he
ladies.
moved to New York. He was when he used to be the door guy at Wiley's, and yeah, they used to do it all the time. I don't know that they still do it, but yeah, as a venue, yeah, they gotta sell
It's a
tickets,
venue,
man.
yeah.
They're trying to get people in there,
Yeah.
shaking their dicks, talking about their dicks, selling
Yeah.
drinks.
Selling drinks.
That's what we're doing here.
Quesadilla, maybe something like
Quesadilla,
that.
little pulled pork
sober
Sammy.
up Nana
Yeah,
before she hits the road.
get that 2-drink minimum, and then give her some bread because they're pouring them strong.
Yeah.
At Wiley's, they pour them strong as fuck. I don't drink anymore, but I remember when I did. It seems like every time I go in there, I just get fucking blackout drunk off my 2-drink minimum.
Well, yeah. All their fucking crazy cocktails, they're like, their specialty cocktails are all like 4 different kinds of liquor.
Yeah, dude.
know?
Or they have those giant buckets of like frozen liquor.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Fuck that, bro.
It's all part of it, though.
Yeah.
That's a hard realization too of like doing comedies. You're just like, well, if I just keep doing it, eventually I'll be able to like work these places because I can, because I can do comedy or whatever.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, that's not it, dude. It's like, is anybody going to come see you? And it's like, well, I don't know anybody. They're like, well, then fuck off. We don't care how good you are. We don't care how good you are. You can either sell tickets or you can do, you can work these fucking rooms in
these shit rooms,
hotels
forever.
and casinos and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like people who can do that and do that well, comics who can just work a room, who have no audience, who have just been doing it long enough that you can put them in any room and they'll get people to laugh with whatever they're doing, are fucking, it's a respectable fucking thing, but you're making $400 and then having to send $125 back to the booker. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
It's such a hard, I don't know. Some people, that's the only way they can do it, or they've just decided that that's how they want to do it. But it's like, bro, I got to figure out how to sell some tickets with this shit. Cause it's like, other than that, it's fun, but
it's not fun. We don't have an audience.
No,
brother.
At some point,
it's not. And, well, I can see that you definitely figured that out. It's like that's why you make a lot of media. Like you have a pretty good YouTube following. It seems like your Facebook's been cracking lately too, bro.
It's getting there. Facebook has been the best thing ever that's come across my way in the past. Whatever. Just
are you monetizing your reels and stuff too?
Yeah, I got
that's
fucking
awesome, bro.
I got a strike against me last week.
I did too a couple of times. They just recently started. They stopped me for 3 months, maybe almost 4 months. They stopped me paying me.
Okay.
So I was like, fuck, and I haven't even really been posting since they gave me the money back. But I think now that I have a bunch of content, which this was a remark I wanted to make to you earlier to kind of circle back around to like Rumble and just having that content and getting in the algorithm. I think with you, with the catalog that you have, and kind of me too, because I have like 50, 60, 100 videos I could go post on Rumble over the course of a month, right? And kind of do one a day. Yeah. And that may help. And just kind of being consistent. And even if you are copy and pasting everything just to kind of get a foothold over there. Yeah, copy and paste all those descriptions. That's not a bad idea. I think I may do that myself and even kind of I don't know. That's not a bad idea though. Just to, since you already have the content in the catalog, to just fucking go hard with it.
And I was also thinking about it from the sense of like out of it's like Ben Shapiro, Alex Jones, Hodge Twins, like all these fucking. I haven't heard of many comics being over there or just people doing something different. It all seems very like politically oriented sort of things. So it's like to pop up, maybe get some traction in the algorithm, or it's like, here's a break from, school shootings and
you're not lying.
The fuck else everybody else is talking about, It's your big goofy fucking face showing up in there.
You need comic relief. Yeah. You want your fucking head just to fucking, hey everybody, just wanted to say that, to be happy.
Yeah. In social media too, it's like the world we live in, people just want to see your fucking face. Mm-hmm. People like it. People like you fucking smiling face. People love it. They develop a weird relationship with you. Sometimes,
No, you're not lying. And the more followers you get, it gets weird to you. Yeah. Like when people meet you out and like if you ever meet someone who you don't know, but they only know you from like the internet and they come to your shows, it's a weird experience.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, so this thing is working.
Yeah.
It's kind of like fucking proof. It's like solidifies it for you. And you don't want to be weird, right? You don't want to be like weird about it. You want to try to be cool, but also be respectful of their time. I always try to give them a few minutes of my time. If someone ever recognizes me or cares about what I'm doing, I try to like ask them about themselves. Yeah. And I don't know. I just think that's important.
Yeah. And there is like Aaron Weber does a real good job at that, of like talking to everybody who kind of wants to talk to him. And it's like, you meet a lot of people after shows, and it's you want to have a genuine moment with everybody ideally, but some people are just a bit much.
They're weird.
I mean, some people are fucking strange, or
go home with my wife.
Or they, and especially like with podcasts and everything, like people know, especially like you doing a weekly podcast, like Aaron he's on Nate's podcast or whatever. Those people, like, you're their buddy. They know a lot about you, and then they show up and just start talking, telling everything about you to you, and you're like, who the fuck is this person? And it's not a bad thing, but it's just super fan. It's such an interesting interaction to watch happen between Weber and these other people, but also it's like, man. And then some, people bring him candy. Somebody brought him a couple cans of chili last night. It's like people People are strange.
It's like what I was saying though. It's like what we're doing, just that next level, like that next level of an audience, right?
Yeah.
It's like once you get on those huge platforms, it's like a small percentage of those people will really, really fuck with you heavy.
Yeah.
Like they're like you said, that's my buddy, that's my best friend. I listen to this guy every day.
Yeah.
I rewatch his podcast.
Yeah.
Like,
and especially with them, because they have 4 people on their podcast. So it's the Nate Land podcast. So it's Nate Bargatze, Brian Bates, Aaron Weber, and Dusty Slay. So in having 4 people, you can have your favorite too. You know what I mean? You can, like, I'm more of a Nate guy, and the people who are coming to Weber shows are like more of an Aaron guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then there's Bates people, Dusty people. They like them all, but then in having the 4 people, you can pick your favorite too.
They're like the Southern Beatles of comedy.
Kind of. Oh, dude, that's like perfect. That's like a perfect analogy for it. Yeah. Yeah.
They low key are, dude. 'Cause they all have a lot of different
boys.
Those guys got different styles too.
Yeah.
You know, like they all do.
They all work clean, but they all have a different style of telling jokes. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I watch Nate Land every now and then. I follow Nate and all those guys on social media. And I love seeing comics do well. I love, like, you know, seeing guys that you watch them do stand-up for years, and then all of a sudden they got like a successful podcast, or someone's throwing them in a movie, or it's great to see that happen.
Yeah.
Dude. It means that there's hope for guys like me and guys like you to keep moving.
Keep doing it.
Yes.
That's what it is, man. If you just at some point, somebody might have something for you. And maybe your dreams come true, maybe they don't, but somebody might. And then but there's also, you know, as much as we like to look at the people who have gone on and have gotten some crumbs thrown their way, whatever it is, how many other people has that not happened to? I think there's a lot of people who say they've been doing comedy for 10 years, but it's bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know.
So maybe that's who I'm probably thinking of in that scenario.
There's
I've been doing it for 10 years. And it's like, well, have you really?
Yeah.
Well, I took 4 years off, and then I took 2 years off.
But have you been on the road, and have you been fucking eating ramen and doing a podcast every week and fucking grinding your dick off, or, you know, and driving state to state?
Yeah.
No, maybe you haven't.
Doing anything.
Do that for 10 years and see what happens. It will work.
Yeah.
No matter what. Don't give yourself an out. You know?
Yeah. Instead of going, nobody's coming to my open mic to see me, to make me famous. So
quit your job and fucking go on the road.
Yeah, man. That's
go
the thing.
Fucking get funny.
People want to work the road, but they don't. Everybody who does comedy is like, man, I want to get on the road. I want to work the road. And then it's like, well, I lived out of a van to be on the road as much as I was. You probably, what do you got? You got a fucking 40-hour-a-week job. How many bills do you have? The comforts of life that you enjoy. Yes. You don't want to be on the road. You don't want to be. It's not.
It's
exhausting. Yeah, it's totally exhausting. And sometimes it's no fun at all. Sometimes it's downright not fun. And you don't make any money. You make no money being a road comic. You know, you lose money.
Yeah.
You lose fucking money, especially coming up. Yeah. All you do is lose money.
Yeah.
It's like
I think it's like a stock though. It's like you believe in yourself and you just like keep investing and you keep invest. I was telling young Mark this earlier. I was like, dude, like a year ago when I started this show, I was in my living room, and then I got a deal with this studio to work out of here, and then like now I have almost 300 subscribers, and it seems like YouTube's really starting to push my videos. And like all the work that I've been doing, it's like it's echoing back to me. And I think that will happen in a few years again, right? And for all of us, the people who really just keep pushing it, you know, and we fucking just keep starving ourselves and making it work, dude. It will work eventually. If you're funny and, you know, I don't know, I got this crazy voice in my head that tells me to just keep going, right? Like
that's what it is.
It's like, dude, you got this, figure it out. Yeah. Like it's the same voice that was telling me I was funny when I wasn't though. So I'm just like, I'm trying to trust him because that worked out like eventually, and now I'm getting bookings, and now I've figured out how to write jokes, and so I had to listen to this guy. I have to listen to this voice. I have to keep following it, I think.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of not believing something in yourself that maybe nobody else can see, and just not stopping.
Yeah.
I think that's probably anything in life, anything that you want in life, regardless of comedy or whatever. It's like,
you gotta be obsessed.
That's it too, but also just don't give up. And also you have to be honest with yourself about how much effort you're actually putting into the thing.
Yes.
A lot of people don't do that at all.
That's
true. A
true.
lot of people are like, I'm giving everything I got. And it's like, well, don't, if you're giving everything you got and you're not, and you haven't gotten anything out of it, maybe you should take a look at yourself and see how much you actually put into the thing.
I've had to do that 100 times,
you know,
and then I revamp, and then I like, what's not working?
Yeah.
All right, well, don't do that, even though I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, not everything we make is gold too. And that's the whole point of, like, I think open mics in these few years of doing like shit bar gigs and all the stuff that I'm kind of in the mix of now as I'm growing. It's like all the stuff I'm doing now is so that I can be better, so that I can get a thicker skin, so that I know these jokes work when I get to that level, right?
Yeah.
And so it all makes sense. As much as it sucks, eventually you're like, fucking, wow, that was so necessary, right? Like all the shitty things that I've done so far, I think that way about. So I hope that I can look back on the, you know, on these things in the future and feel the same way. I don't know.
Yeah. And the shittiness never ends anyway. It just gets less shitty. It's not like if all of a sudden you're headlining comic, selling out shows, it's like, it's not like all of a sudden you don't have bad shows.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you probably still bomb and stuff like it happens from time to time. You know, it is what it is.
Life will come up and bite you in the ass. You have a bad day at work, even as a professional comedian.
So, but being able to deal with that and realize it's not the end of the world.
That's like a very Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino way to look at comedy.
What?
Just like that angle, you're like, you know, it doesn't matter what level, like you know, you're still a real person. You still have a bad day.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. I like that visceralness. Like,
yeah.
You have a cool outlook on life. I dig it.
Yeah, I don't know, a little bit more grounded, I guess.
For sure.
I don't get...
it's the hair.
It could be the hair.
The
I
weed.
just don't get caught up too much in anything, man. It's just like, you know.
Yeah, you're an intellectual type. I can tell. You like to just kind of figure shit out, huh?
Yeah, well, I've lived a life, too, I guess, that most people haven't necessarily lived. So I think it's just given me a lot of perspective and just, I don't know. I've just have a lot of calmness in my life lately. It seems like where nothing really matters. I'm not too worried about anybody doing anything, and comedy wise, I don't care about who's getting whatever they're getting. I'm in my own. I don't really even know who's working right now. I don't pay attention to specials just because it's like, not that I'm trying to be a dick that I think I'm better than it or whatever it is. It's just like, I'm not worried about anything that's going on in comedy other than myself right now. I don't care who's getting booked on shows. I don't care who's not getting booked on shows. It's like I'm doing my own thing. And that's it. That is all I'm doing is my own thing. I'm not participating in the shit that other people are doing. So it's like I'm not going to worry about that because they set up traps where they want you to care about the stupid shit that goes around comedy that's got nothing to do with your jokes. It's like it's all the open mic shit of who's getting booked and whose team are you on and this and that shit. And it's like, I'm not doing any of that.
It means nothing. You figured it out.
It doesn't.
I think that's why you're starting to become successful, brother, is because that mind state right there alone is like a great way to look at this game and approach it. Because if you give a fuck about anything other than what you're doing, then it's just a
distraction.
It's just another thing in the way to keep you from your next goal.
You lose, you start losing value in yourself too, because you know,
compare yourself.
That's it too, especially with yourself. Comedy. It's like the shit we were talking about before we started recording, just about how it's a small club and there's a lot of weird relationships in show business in general. So it's like you've been working your ass off, and you know these people who are getting things and are like doing well, and you've been on shows with them and you've seen them work and you've worked with them, and it's like, I know I'm fucking better than this person. I have been every fucking time we've been on a show. And not anyone in particular, just a lot of people I've encountered.
Yes.
They pop off, get this, get that, and there's a lot of people who do get it that are fucking hilarious, but it's like...
But talent doesn't always outweigh relationships.
Yeah, and it just it makes you, it's like, I'm not what they want, I'm not, but it's like, who gives a fuck? Find who wants you, because you know those people are out there, you know what I mean? So that's been the internet recently. That's all it is too, man.
Yeah.
It's easy to do. If you're doing comedy and you think you're good at it, and let's be honest, you can get on the internet and find... hundreds of clips that have millions of views that are fucking god awful, that have no jokes, that people just watch. But if you're not doing it for yourself, fuck off. I don't have time for people to be fucking sulking, talking about what they're not getting, this, that, and the other, when they don't put in any work at all.
Yeah.
You know?
100%, bro.
I don't have, so I just got blinders on right now.
I love that, bro.
Especially over the past few months where it's like, I'm just fucking tunnel vision right now. And I don't know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah.
But get the fuck out of my way at this point. And mainly I'm saying that to myself too. You
Well,
know what I mean?
Dude, a lot of your podcast clips are a lot like that. What like that rant you just did was like, and I really love that, bro. It's so motivational, and like, I don't know, bro. I just fucking you're just being you're just being very visceral, bro, and you're just fucking like,
well,
I love it, bro. Where can people find you so that they can see more of the Joe Kelly experience, and they can watch this face to face every week?
JoeKellyComedy.com is my website. It's KELLEY at Joe Kelly Comedy, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter too. Joe Kelly Comedy, whatever it is. It's all at Joe Kelly Comedy. YouTube.com/at Joe Kelly Comedy. Joe Kelly Psychedelic Experience is the podcast. But Joe Kelly Comedy. If you go to my website, you can find everything from there. But if you're just looking for one thing in particular, Joe Kelly Comedy is all you need to know. Or Utilize Shrooms. That'll get you in touch with everything as well.
Utilize Shrooms? Is that your website?
That was my original that was my original handle for everything.
That's dope.
When I first got back from Maui, I was living on Maui for a little bit. And that's when I was like, okay, I got to get in touch with social media now. This was like 2012, 2013. So I was a little bit late, but it was like Twitter and shit. And I was like, I don't know. I don't have a fucking nickname. So I was like, Utilize Shrooms. And it was kind of a brand or whatever it was for a little while. But then I'm getting on shows and people are like, we're not going to tag that. So then I made Joe Kelly Comedy to be more a little bit. And also it made it to be like a business account, a public account, whatever that shit is. So that's the one I work with. But I switched the Utilize Shrooms one over too recently. Follow me on at Utilize Shrooms and Joe Kelly Comedy. What am I talking about?
Before we close, I have to tell you a funny story because like that's the same thing that happened to me. Like as I started becoming as I started filling out resumes when I got a little bit older, and also just sending bookers or just sending people stuff in general. It's like I had like 69 in my old email. It was like Johnny Woods, whatever, 69 type. And I was like, all right, I cannot send this as a grown adult, right?
No. No.
That's so funny.
Do you know how many people didn't get jobs because they were born in 1969 just because of that reason?
Yeah. You're like 42069 smokeoff.com gmail. Yeah, you're like, what the
April 20th, 1969. It's
Utilize Shrooms. You guys follow Utilize Shrooms. Thanks for watching this podcast. Make sure you go down the bottom and subscribe and hit one of these videos, or maybe you can hit one of these videos. Thank you, young Mark Perkins, for being here today. Appreciate you, buddy, as always. Peace out, everybody.
Great job, Mark.
That was awesome, brother.
You got the intro thing and the